Welcome to the In My Opinion show with host Ronald Barrington Robinson and friends. Seen on the internet via YouTube, enter in capital letters RBRIMO to watch our exciting programming. Subscriptions are free. The In My Opinion show is seen on Flint, Michigan Comcast Cable Television, Channel 17, every Saturday at 6 p.m. and Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. The In My Opinion show is also seen on Detroit, Michigan Comcast Cable Television, Channel 68, every Sunday at 9 p.m. We want to welcome our worldwide viewers. We hope that you will enjoy our programs that are newsworthy, educational, political, and entertaining. If you would like to be a guest on this exciting program or have different opinions on our subject matter, please email our producer at inmyopinionrbr@att.net. I want to welcome Reverend Patricia McQueen to the In My Opinion show.
Thank you, Mr.
Welcome to our program. Also want to welcome our millions of viewers worldwide. Let's talk about Church Behind Closed Doors, Series 2. Reverend McQueen, I'm going to let you talk about this.
Okay. Well, first of all, I want to just thank the Lord for Him allowing us to come. And all we're doing is revealing the truth about some things that are hidden in the church, some things that need to be addressed. A lot of people are hurt because these things are not. And a lot of our people are lost and rather be in the world than come to the church. And that doesn't mean that they don't want to come to Christ or God. They just don't want the abuse and the mistreatment that they get when they come to the people that's supposed to have the love of Christ in them and claim to be believers. But I just would like to start off with scripture, Galatians 5:13 through 15. You, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free, but do not use your freedom to indulge the flesh. Rather serve one another humbly in love. The law is fulfilled in keeping this one commandment: love your neighbor as yourself. If you bite and devour each other, watch out, or you will be destroyed by each other. And I feel that we do this. We bite and devour each other, but we do this in our prejudices. Then use the Bible and Jesus as the reason for our fleshly decisions. And with that in mind, the first thing I would like for us to talk about is homosexuality and the church's rejection of homosexuality in the church. It's like, Mr. Robinson, it's like people forget that it's a spirit and it's not the person when it comes to homosexuality. Anything other sin, they'll say, well, that's a spirit. But homosexuality is a spirit. And instead of rejecting the spirit, they're really rejecting the people. I can start talking about homosexuality to church friends. The whole demeanor would change. Or they'll want to stop the conversation. I don't understand what the hatred is and the rejection of homosexuality worse than any other sin. I don't understand that. And these are people that are supposed to be Christ-like and they're supposed to love everybody. Sin is sin. I know homosexuality has been around for a very, very long time. And I know you've studied on King James and the King James Bible, and King James himself. You studied on that. A lot of people don't know about King James.
Well, King James, was the King of England, and he was homosexual, all right? And what I don't quite understand is that many, many, many houses of worship, all right, have that King James versions in their pews, okay? But as Reverend McQueen was indicated, that when one starts talking about homosexuality, they it's like a disease or something, but
Yes.
it's not a disease. Okay? People can't help, in my opinion, people can't help who they are or what they may become. Okay? Whatever triggers whatever it is, no one knows. I don't care who, if you're a scientist or any other so-called professional. They do not know. Okay? And what difference does it make? These are human beings. These are human beings. If they want to be a female, so what? If females want to be males, so what? It doesn't affect you, just like it doesn't affect me. I have a couple lesbian friends, transgender friends. Okay, it doesn't bother me. I know who I am, and if you're comfortable in yourself, be comfortable with that. Stop spending all this time, that's the devil and all this old bullshit. Excuse me, Rev. That kind of slipped out. But it's the truth. All it is a bunch of foolishness. Spend your time on something that's positive. Welcome that person, okay? If you don't want to welcome them, then don't talk about them. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. They're not bothering you. In fact, they're probably not even thinking about you. Right now, there's so much going on in churches and in the government. All right, people can't help who they fall in love with, who they want to be with. Leave them alone. And Rev, you were talking about.
Okay, wait, one thing I want to say first. I believe in the word and I live by what the Bible says. Now, do I agree with homosexuality? No, I don't. I'm a heterosexual. I don't, but whatever a person is not for me to judge. I will love them regardless to who and what they are. My job is to pray for their homosexual spirit, for them to be released and delivered from it. It's not for me to reject them. It's not for me to judge them and talk about. All I'm supposed to do is love them. I just have to give my point of view of how I feel about homosexuality. In itself, I don't agree with it. The Bible doesn't agree with it. The Lord doesn't agree with it. But we have to let them live their lives. It's their choice. Like Mr. Robinson said, it's their choice. It's not my choice.
Well, I'm heterosexual too, okay? But the thing about it is there's so many varied issues when it comes to the Bible, all right? Mm-hmm. We spoke about King James, all right? He was a homosexual, all right? In fact, he wrote, or he had the Church of England rewrite the Bible. Okay. Now, what influence did he have on the Church of England? Okay. You better bet he had his thoughts and his way throughout the whole writing of that Bible. Okay. Or there would have been consequences. Now, but yet millions of people every Sunday, every Wednesday, or whenever, or every day, they're reading that King James Version. I mean, look it up. Look it up yourselves on the internet or your public library, or get that information. You don't have to listen to Ronald Barry Robinson. It's there. Look it up yourself. And if you don't, then that means you don't want to hear the truth. You don't want knowledge. Knowledge is powerful.
Yes.
Okay? education is a game changer.
Yes.
Don't be afraid. I know some of you out there are going to say, well, I believe everything the Bible tells me. Well, I don't. Okay? And I'm sure I'm probably going to get some mail or some emails on this, but I don't. Okay? Because the Bible has been rewritten nobody knows how many times. Okay? When you translate it from German to English, from French to English, or some other language, people have a tendency to interject their own words that can change and distort a whole chapter. So one has to be cognizant of that, in my opinion, okay? That's why this show is called the In My Opinion Show. Everybody has one. And those out there, if you object, you're more than welcome to come on to the show. But I caution you, if you come on, have your stuff in order, okay? Not to come on rambling and about, well, this is my Bible and I believe everything in this Bible. You know what I mean? It's not gonna work. Come with facts that can be substantiated.
Now, I read where the parts about when King James did his translation, the parts about in the Bible that addresses homosexuality wasn't in that version, but it was in the 1900s before someone else revised it again, is when the parts about the homosexuality was added to the Bible. He didn't put that in there. That's what I read. Okay.
Well, there's
later when it was revised, it was added.
Well, I'm sure. Everything is being revised, and in a lot of instances, the truth, the truth is coming out. Okay. And if you keep hearing the same old lie all the time, over and over and over, well, for many people that becomes the truth. Well, I heard so and so say this, and I heard so and so say that. So I've been hearing it from several different sources. It must be true. No, it doesn't necessarily. It's not necessarily true. All right. I mean, you've got these ministers in these mega churches. All right, the Eddie Longs and a number of other ones in Detroit and more in Atlanta and California and New Orleans. All right. Now, if you proclaim to be a man of God and you have followers and a following, okay, well then, what's wrong with telling the people the truth? It may be uncomfortable, but people want to hear the truth. We're in the 21st century, and people are tired of, whether it's religion or anything else, they're tired of lies. Just tell the truth. Period.
And not in your own understanding.
Exactly.
And your own personality and your own rights.
And it's just, maybe hopeful. I'm hopeful that we'll get there. Okay.
Now, just a little bit more on this, and I want to say this, that the church does not reject all homosexuality, because that homosexuality spirit, it is in our churches, and it is in the pews, and it's on the choir. It's in the choir. It's playing the instruments, and it's in the pulpit. So those homosexuality is in the church. They're rejecting those that are not hidden, that's out forward with theirs. They probably pretty much don't care what we think as a people. But the ones that are hidden in the church, they are married women and men that are married and have a mate that are homosexuals. So the church don't reject all. They'll even cover that up, but they don't reject all. Only they reject those that are straightforward with what they're doing.
Well, again, in my opinion,
I've had to deal with it.
you have to, why reject anyone for that
Right.
matter?
Right.
You shouldn't reject anybody because we're all, we're all God's children. All of us. That's what you preach. At least the churches that I go to, we're God's children. So if we're God's children, then we should be accepted, by whom we are.
Yes.
Okay? Again, government can't dictate, which they're trying to do, who you can marry, who you can't, who you can adopt, who you can't. All right? And this is between the Supreme Court, and I predict that the Supreme Court is going to allow same-sex marriages. These people already know that they can't, two males can't make children. Two women can't make children. They already know this. So so people need to stop this. Well, these folk aren't fit to raise children. Who are you to tell somebody that they're not fit, all right, to raise children, whether they're two males or two females? They are investigated, all right. Their backgrounds are investigated, okay. If there's any pedophilia going on, I'm sure. Hopefully, it's then it's time to reject adoptions and things of that nature, or child abuse, or something in that nature. Okay, we spend billions of dollars trying to fight something that's none of our business. That's none of our business. Why? We spend untold hours talking about it, discussing it. Oh, I wouldn't do this. Oh, I wouldn't do that. And the main ones, a lot of them, not all, are the same ones, all right, that are in the closet.
Yes.
Okay? Just take, for instance, this Eddie Long from Atlanta. All right? Now, he was in marches and everything against homosexuality. Guess what, folks? He had half a dozen men in his bed. Okay? And it goes on and on and on and on and on. Who cares? I don't care about Eddie Long I don't care if he had 100 men in his bed. That's got nothing to do with me.
Right.
All right? If that's his flavor, what can I say? That's not my flavor, but I don't spend any time talking about it, or other than right now, because we're talking about homosexuality in the church. But then you got the other ones. They're talking about some of these other preachers. They're talking about, Reb, this one preacher wanted his congregation to contribute $60 million to buy a jet airplane. Now,
I believe it.
what kind of foolishness is that? All right? And just recently, not too long ago, then there was this other preacher. This might be offensive to some. I don't mean it to be, but I'm just telling you what's out there. This other preacher instructed his female parishioners to sit in the front row with their legs open, exposing themselves. Then this other preacher said he was anointed by God. He had his female in his church bare naked on the beach. It was on the internet.
This show getting X-rated.
All right, and slapping him on the backside. Okay, he said he was ordained. He was ordained to do that. I mean, thank goodness for social media.
Yeah.
Okay, Then you got some churches, all right, to they have 2 rows for offerings and tithes. Now, to me, that's wrong. The one row is the $100 row or $500 row. The other row is just whatever you can, whatever you can contribute. And I think that's it's very very discourteous
Yes.
to people. You know what I mean? The vast majority of people that go to church, at least some of the churches that I go to, and I don't go to church every Sunday. You know what I mean? I don't. I'm not an atheist. I just don't go to church every Sunday. Okay? I don't believe a lot of things that I've heard, in church. All right? I don't believe in Adam and Eve, and I don't believe in, some of the other stuff that Bush come up with. All right, that they just happen to be here. All right, this earth is, this ball that we live on has been around almost 450 billion years. 450 billion years. Okay, so it's a mess. And homosexuality also too. Let's not leave out, it's in all churches. I don't care what church you belong to. All right? Look at the Catholic Church. Look at the priests that have been exposed. Okay? Now, I'm not telling people don't believe with what you want to believe. Okay? But find out the truth. Don't just believe because, well, my mama told me this, and her mama told her that, and her daddy told her that, and their parents told them that, and so on back, all right? Well, they didn't have all of this information that we have readily available by the click of the mouse, okay? They didn't have the museums and so forth. They didn't have the DNA, the carbon dating, and so forth and so forth. So do diligence and check this stuff out.
Yeah. And I just want to say this because it's almost time, I believe.
Oh no, we got time.
Yeah, time. Okay. I want to say this: homosexuality is a spirit that must be confronted. It's a spiritual problem, and it needs to be prayed out of the church. People are not to be rejected because they are lost, confused, or struggling with their identity. People struggling with their identity need God, love, instruction, and encouragement, just like anybody else.
Absolutely.
I just want to say that.
Absolutely. And again, we welcome those that that have a different opinion. Please give us a call, or email. In my opinion, rbr@att.net. But again, don't come on just because you think you want 5 minutes or 15 seconds of fame or anything like that. But come with facts and come with the truth. That's all we're asking. Okay. And do your studying, okay? And also too, to be fair, all 3 religions, Judaism, Islam, Christianity, and their subgroups, all have their fair share of all that we have discussed. You know what they are not. You know what they are, and they are not all that different. It's man that keeps trying to change them over and over again. Again, if you tell the same lie over and over and over again, people think it's the truth, but it's still a lie. A lie is a lie. It's that simple. Do the right thing. Be courteous, to your neighbors and your relatives, and your friends, your children. Do the best you can. Okay, and if there's a God, he or she will appreciate it. Okay, and you'll feel better. You'll feel better. I'm sure you'll feel better. Any last words?
Yes, we have very different opinions about who God is and some other things, as the audience can tell. But this is my friend, and he'll pray for me, and I'll pray for him.
Well, folks, this is why it's called the In My Opinion Show. Everybody has an opinion. Everybody has an opinion, and that's what it's all about.
That's what
Okay,
it's all about.
we're not born as clones.
Right.
We were born with the freedom to think, okay, and to discern a lot of things. Education is a game changer.
Yes, it is.
Remember that education is a game changer. I don't care in what discipline that you're in. It's a game changer.
And for our young people, it's a must.
Absolutely.
Education is a must.
Absolutely. Education is a must. This has been a very interesting conversation.
Yes.
And
I hope our viewers enjoyed it.
well, let's hope so. In fact, it'll be available soon,
I'm
and
looking for it.
I will notify you when when it's gonna air. But folks, it's airing. It will be airing sometime tonight on the internet. All right. Go to YouTube, and then in capital letters, our own channel, in capital letters, RBRIMO. That's YouTube. Go to capital, in capital letters, type in RBRIMO. And again, if you'd like to appear on this show and have different opinions, email me at inmyopinionrbr@att.net. This is Ronald Berry Robinson and Reverend Patricia McQueen saying, for the In My Opinion Show, stay focused.